Welcome to our Insight series on organizational well-being. The question for this week is, how should we think about the results of our employee wellness programs? As we think about the results of our employee wellness programs, one of the issues that we need to deal with is the issue of a hierarchy of results. We don't get all the results every time and from everything we do in wellness. So the simple results that people using a program's technology and the resources that are associated with that and showing up for on-site programming is one simple kind of result that we'd like to be able to see. But at the same time, we also need to think about the lower order results, and those are the results that you see in the green on the bottom of the screen. And it starts out with our attention changes to focus on things that are dealing with our awareness of our personal health and wellness issues. As that begins to change, then our knowledge oftentimes changes and our attitudes about wellness begin to change. And as they change, our readiness to change and readiness to engage in wellness also changes. We then, if we've gone through this hierarchy of lower order results, we end up getting to a place of short-term wellness behavior. And that's where we may eat well for a 6-week period or exercise well for 3 or 4 weeks, but then the behavior drops off. And unfortunately, there frequently is a chasm between short-term behavior change and long-term behavior change. A lot of what we attempt to do in WellCert is actually to design programs and implement them and manage them to create that long-term behavior change, because that is usually a requirement to get to the higher order kinds of results in this hierarchy. And that starts off with some health status changes, so we can in fact begin to see some of our test results from screening, biometric screening, blood pressure, blood sugar, issues around BMI, issues around cholesterol fractionation and blood pressure. Those are changes that we can begin to track in our populations over time. Those oftentimes reduce health risk prevalence, so we have fewer health risk issues in our populations. Once those begin to decline, we frequently can see disease prevalence changing. So the incidence of hypertension may go down. We may see improvements in the distribution of healthy cholesterol levels or lower percent body fat in terms of the biometrics of fitness. And then if we see those disease prevalences change over time, and by the way, if we also augment our wellness programs with things like consumer health education, medical self-care, injury prevention, those are things that will in fact change the next level up, which is our healthcare utilization. When we see the number of hospital days change, number of physician visits, number of prescription drugs that are fulfilled for a given population, those are healthcare utilization changes. We also then usually see a corresponding change in the health claims costs of our populations. And that comes out in terms of the fees and the costs that are paid usually by employers, but a major portion is also paid by employees. So that ends up changing. As our health claims costs change, we then change the calculus of the determination of the return on investment and the value on investment. So those end up being changes. But you can understand that there is some hierarchy in these results. If we don't get the lower order results, we aren't going to cross the chasm and get to long-term behavior change, which then sets us up for being able to achieve the higher order results that management frequently wants to experience over time. So this is how I would recommend that you think about the results of your particular wellness program. And most of these end up being cast in the form of metrics, which we can then report back to our senior management staff. As a summary of the overall concepts in this particular answer to the key question, we need to be wise in our approach to the results of our employee wellness programs. Don't allow confusion around your program's results to lead to a mediocre level of support and funding from the senior management toward your employee wellness efforts. Now, for more information on this topic, try putting the following search strings into your web browser: types of results of employee wellness programs, categories of results of employee wellness programs, and measures of effectiveness of employee wellness programs. Next week, we will be addressing the question, what behavioral targets should most employee wellness programs address? For more information, visit our website at www.chapmaninstitute.com and use our search engine to explore these issues further.